So obviously you're all hiring across the board and there are different skill sets required for each type of position. But what is one or two things that you look for regardless of position when you're hiring someone who is a student or for an entry-level role? Do you want to take this first, Alexis?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we're a media technology company, and we like people who are particularly, I think one thing that sets us apart on the content side is we tend to hire people who are particularly strong voices and authoritative in their passion areas. And so it's not, we don't have an opportunity for someone to come in and say, hey, I'm a really good writer, I could write across 3 of your brands. It's you come in and say, I'm really passionate about something, let's say in the restaurant space, and I want to write for Eater, or I want to work with the Eater team specifically on this because this is my passion point. And I think that's a differentiator, at least for us as we look to hire talent on content creation. I think folks who have, often looked with some experience in doing that before, and that doesn't have to be professional, it could be what you're doing personally with your own blogs or sites or however you create content. And then I also think about the importance of communication in general. So obviously early in your career, you may not have a particularly extensive resume, but I think the extent to which you yourself articulate and can demonstrate that the leadership for that appropriate level and that curiosity goes a really long way.
Yeah, I'll absolutely second that. So I think at Google, one of the things we always talk about is liking to hire general athletes. Mm-hmm. When we think of the way the industry changes, we're hiring people today for, who we want to stay at Google for roles that may not even exist today, right, in 5 years' time. So if people are just very, very niche, then the chances of them being able to necessarily flex their skill set, it may not last and may not be able to evolve as the organization evolves. Mm-hmm. So I think that general athlete piece is really important. But to your point as well, having that passion and really being able to evidence that passion in an area is key, right? So we're not going to be able to hire anybody, even at that entry level, into a software engineering role who isn't absolutely passionate and very good as a software engineer. Same for somebody who we want to hire into our small to medium business advertising organization. You're going to have to evidence that you have shown interest in that and you have been involved, you understand, what the market looks like. But I think having that breadth, and telling the story in your background they're really important pieces.
What we look for, regardless of function, somebody that is very flexible. We're very much a fast-paced, scrappy type of environment, so we definitely need people that can go with the flow, who can pivot. We promote a lot from within, so if somebody is starting at an entry-level role, they can very quickly move up the ladder. So we want people who are smart, who can take on a lot of responsibility. We try to have somewhat of a flat hierarchy, which helps to allow people to try and do new things as well. And again, to add to the point, certainly passion, someone that wants to learn. I call Hearst, it's a 130-year-old startup, so because it has that energy.
Vice is known for its storytelling, so people who are very curious would probably have an advantage. Someone who's very articulate, who can identify something that would be of interest to themselves, that could be interested to a wider audience, would be very appealing to us in terms of a candidate. Similar to everyone else on the stage, yes, people need to be somewhat flexible, they need to be smart, articulate, they should put their energy into what they really want to do. For Vice in general, it's ideal for someone to be very clear about what they would like to do and the contribution that they would like to make. Not just that they want to work at the company, but what specifically they would like to do. Because the best person for the job is somebody who really wants that job, not just to be at the company. So even if it could take a little longer for someone to get their foot in their door, it's probably worth it to go after something that you really want than to just try and get your foot in the door and take any job that may be available.